and not to practicalize it.
But what's the way out now, Governor Wike? What do we do now?
In negotiation, Labour should also understand and support the governance forum to say, look, yes, we think that what the governors are saying they are right, or what the states are saying that we shouldn't personalize it. I am not going to be against any review of workers' wages. No, I will not do that. But in doing that, we must also look at certain aspects that will affect this. For how many years now have we reviewed the revolutionary formula? For how many years? So we can't come and talk about after 3-4 years review of minimum wage, after 5 years review of minimum wage, but no, we're talking about reviewing the revenue formula to the federal units and the federal government.
One of the things that Labour, of course, points out is that many of the states would have the resources to pay this minimum wage if they reduced the cost of governance.
You see, they are not being realistic.
That political office holders over the period of time between the last review and now that they're agitating for have had their salaries increased by 900%.
How?
A lot of it buried under allowances and so on. And that the security you mentioned earlier, that a lot of money disappears under security.
You see, with all due respect, they can, it's very easy to make comments that you can defend. I have worked in the federal government, federal ministry. I've worked at the local government. I've worked at the state government. I'm working at the state government with the state government. I've worked at the state government before that. I'm still working with the state government. If you talk about where you talk about money being disappearing, and the ministries and the departments, you have seen people come out to say they never knew a permanent secretary could own this and that. What are they talking about?
Basically, what you're saying is that the civil servants actually...
That's what I'm saying. There is no political appointee that can function effectively without the civil servant. How? I have known how permanent secretaries are quarreled with commissioners. Does any commissioner sign check? Well, you see, people should face reality and not trying to rigmarole and beat about the bush. The truth of the matter, I'm not trying to say that, look, yes, you won't get it. Sometimes things are not working out well in some areas, but that's not for you to generalize. When you talk about money, they shouldn't say that. Take, for example, today, in this state, I'm building a labor house for the Labour Congress. I'm building a trade union house for TUC. But here they are doing deductions of worker salaries. Have they built it? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? You don't just sit somewhere and begin to make allegations. If you say, so I will have somebody say, why on earth will a political appointee will a governor appoint over 1,000 SAs? Those 1,000 SAs, do they have jobs? Are they not part of the unemployment market? So if a governor is trying to reduce poverty, it's okay, look, let's see how we can absolve you. But we cannot absolve you like a civil servant. Because we may not, of course, once you employ civil servant, they're into unions. One problem in this country that everything has been unionized. Everything. There's nothing you do without union today. So if we're talking about unemployment to reduce the poverty level in our system, and then the governor said, look, we don't have the capacity to give them permanent employment, but we have the capacity to give temporary employment that could ameliorate or reduce the burden in them, or the burden on them, and then it's okay, I employ you. How much is it? Federal government was paying 5,000 naira for poverty reduction. So if I look at it, it's okay. Take 1,000 persons. You are paying them 10 for example. So is that what anybody can say? Oh, you're having more political appointees. So we must tell ourselves the simple truth. I tell my civil servants, I tell them everything. How many of you stay in the office? Some of you come to work by 10. By 12, you are gone. If you force the reality on ground, even the number of people you have in ministries shouldn't be.
You mean there are too many?
What are the functions? But because we're talking about unemployment, poverty, to reduce the level of crime, you need to accommodate this. Because our economy is not that where people can have something doing on their own. Greater majority of the people depend on government as a situation today. So it is wrong for anybody to say, oh, if we reduce the cost of governance. What's the cost of governance? Security, poverty leads to insecurity. And so if you want to reduce the level of insecurity, you must also to reduce the level of unemployment. And it also varies. What kind of employment? So the mere fact, what we're saying is that people must not chase shadows. You cannot talk about review of minimum wage without reviewing revenue allocation formula. It is not possible.
In the case of River State,
yes,
if at the end of the day,
yes,
a consensus is achieved on around whatever figure, eventually, between whatever the governors have recommended, what Labour is insisting on, what the private sector and government, the federal government that is, are thinking of doing, would you consider implementing that in River State? Since you say it's not a state problem.
Even though this may not be as good as we may think, I will not, as a governor, say that I will not be part of implementing what has been agreed.
Okay.
Ordinarily, if things are working out well, as River State being the left wire, the treasury base of the nation, why should I complain of implementing the increment in minimum wage? But there are a lot of structural defects. We have people do lawyer here. Where are their offices? Where do they pay tax to? They are not here. If we are approaching the real federal system, why should we have oil companies drilling oil here and they are not here at the headquarters? They are in Lagos. So Lagos State government is collecting the taxes from them. So who is losing? So if things are done properly, well, why would we complain? What we're entitled to is being taken away from us. And then you are bringing a policy that would even not help our system. If the oil companies have the headquarters in the Niger Delta, more revenues will be made. Taxes will be collected. So why do I have to complain? And so when they talk about flimsy excuses of insecurity, and you ask yourself, what insecurity? The oil companies in Iran, the oil companies in Iraq, here in Niger Delta, why is there no insecurity when it is drilling? There's no insecurity when you bring a headquarters here. So there's so much defect in the system. And we cannot, that's why we are talking about restructuring. But we cannot say we do not have these facts. The facts are clear.
I'll bring you back to that restructuring in a little while, Your Excellency, but let me take you to something else which is also recent. There seems to be some rapprochement between you now and President Buhari.
Yeah.
He was here only a little while ago to commission the new Port Harcourt International Airport.
Yeah.
And a lot of people said, you know, Governor Wike would have avoided that ceremony, maybe sent your deputy or the secretary to the state government to represent you.
Yeah.
But not only were you there, you also spoke
Yeah.
at the event.
Yeah.
Are you hoping on building on this?
Is there any personal problem between the president and my humble self? No. You know, we try to mix up issues. Mr. President is the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He's not the president of All Progressive Congress. Mr. President was coming to Port Harcourt to commission a project which will enhance and improve the economy of the state. The mere fact that I belong to the opposition party, I should not go and receive Mr. President. First of all, he's the symbol of the country. That office he occupies, you must give him that respect. It doesn't matter we belong to different parties. When it comes to politics, I say, Mr. President, no, your party is not doing well. But when it concerns governance, you must give Mr. President that respect. And that is the way it's supposed to be. Remember, when Mr. President came back overseas when he was very sick,
yes,
some people saw me at the airport that I came to the president, and they were all asking themselves, look, what's happening? And I said, what is going on? Your president was sick. Your president, God has saved him. And so, I should have been happy that he died. What can? Some of us are not brought up that way. Age is important, and the position he occupies. He's good enough to be my father, and not that, he's the president of Nigeria. I must give him that respect. There was a time we had a governor here who never went to receive Mr. President, who would even send not deputy but a secretary to government without anybody. You see, people have their own different orientation. I respect elders. I respect leaders. But if we are talking about politics, Mr. President, this state has not benefited from the APC-led government. That is different from General President Muhammad Buhari. And people must understand that. So it will be foolhardy for anybody to think that Mr. President will come to Port Harcourt